Hello guys, I'm back with 4 more books. Yes, I'm gonna talk about books again. I know the previous video was about my 3 of my favorite books that I read in 2021 so far and 2020. In this video, I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite books, and of course not all of them are 5 stars to me, but I read them about a month ago, and I wanted to go through them and let you know what they're all about and how I feel and how I think about them. The first one is this gem. It's called Your Money or Your Life. It's a very famous book and it's a new edition. I think the first one was published about, 20-30 years ago. I don't remember honestly, but this is an updated version which was released in 2018, so less than 3 years ago. And the author added some stuff to it and possibly removed some of the stuff that was in the original book, but it makes sense for this era. I think the first edition was not relatable now, and if you want to buy it, try to buy this version because it's newer. I used to have the older version. I bought it almost a year ago and I lost it, unfortunately, in moving, but it all worked out. We bought this new one and I listened to it, of course, as always, on Audible, but because I liked the book and because I wanted to have it near me, I also purchased the hard copy. It's a very good book for those who want to change their relationship with money. Again, it's one of my favorite topics. I read a lot of money management books, and so far this is one of my favorites. So I'm not gonna talk about details of the book because it's a very short book. If you want to know what's inside, you can read it in less than 3 days. Let me see how many pages. Without the end notes is 321 pages. Yeah, it's not huge. It's not boring at all. You can read it and enjoy every sentence of it, as I did. You know, when you read this kind of books, you realize that financial independence is not as far. Anybody can achieve it. You just need to be informed, right? So that's why we read this kind of books. Loved it, gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and I think nothing beats this book. This is awesome, and it's small, so that's a plus. The next book in the same area, same genre that I want to talk about, 4-Hour Work Week. Now, this is a huge book and I haven't finished it, but I wanted to talk about it because this is also an awesome book. The reason that I didn't finish it is because me and my husband listened to it together when we were going somewhere on a vacation. And when our essentially our vacation was over, the book still was not over. I think we have like 2 hours left to finish it, but we have to finish it together because we listened to it together. So that's why I haven't finished it yet. But it's also #1 New York Times bestseller, and it's a phenomenal book. It basically has a lot of resources that you can go to. Either they're online or they're just, things that you can find anywhere in your life, but you don't think about them, to make you work less and be more mobile. And it's a very good book for those who already achieved financial independence, but they want to work less hours during the week. As you can understand by the title, its mission is to make your work week as short as possible. 4 hours is like 1/10 of the times that we usually work, right? We work about 40 hours a week, but the main reason for that is because we are working for other people and we are on a payroll. But if you work for yourself, it's very much possible to work much less than 40 hours a week. I'm not sure about 4 hours. Maybe it's possible. It apparently is possible for some people, and that's why this book existed. But you need to do a lot of outsourcing based on this book. This is also an updated version. There is an older version. Even though it's updated, there are things in the book that no longer make sense. So it basically talks about how to eliminate unnecessary steps when you're working, and how to achieve automation. And as I mentioned, it talks about outsourcing, which is an awesome thing that you can do. And it's not necessarily expensive. You can find ways that are cheaper if you do outsourcing. But yeah, you need to have this book, like the hard copy of it. I listened to it. As I said, I haven't finished it yet, but I wanted to have it like a hard copy of it. And that's exactly because the resources that it introduces in the book, there are a lot. There's no way to memorize all of them, and there's no way to remember all of them all the time. So it's a kind of good resource for you if you achieved financial independence, or if you are in the process and you want to work less and less and have more free time for yourself. There's a lot of good sources here that you can go to. Hire people, find ways. It's a good one. I need to finish it. If I finished it anytime soon, I'm gonna talk about it again, and I'm gonna go into more details. So I haven't rated it yet, but so far for me it's a 4-star. And the reason that I don't give it 5-star is because it's kind of overwhelming. And as I said, it's a good resource. It's not necessarily something that you listen or read and you can always remember whatever that was said in the book. But it's a little bit overwhelming if you listen to it. But if you read it, you're gonna have a different experience. The next one is also about financial life and having a better relationship with money. It's called the 24 Things That Helped Me Achieve 1 Million Net Worth by Age of 30 by Joseph Chantry, I think. Or you can call it The First Million. It's a very long name. It's also a very small book. I actually read it. I read the hard copy. I didn't listen to it. And one of the reasons that I listen to audiobooks is this book. The author talked about it, and as a form of self-improvement method, he uses audiobooks, and he listens to audiobooks. Therefore, he can listen to more books every year. And you know, when I read that chapter, that was about reading more books, because all the chapter talk about like different stuff. It has a purpose. The book has a purpose, and he explains the purpose, and then he talks about habits and how to play offensive, and how to be more present in your life, and how to learn things, how to read more books. This is the chapter that I said earlier that helped me listen to more audiobooks. And how to, you know, plan your day, and very tiny habits that help you be more present in your life and be more successful in your life in general. And all of those things can eventually help you achieve a better financial life. This is also a very good book. I highly recommend reading it, especially if you're younger and you want to learn ways to improve yourself, not just financially. For me, a 4-star book. It can be 5-star, but I think it's, you know, it's in a way, it's really good that the book is very simple and straightforward, and it doesn't have like complicated topics, but I think there's a lot of repetitive stuff in the book. And for me, because I read a lot of financial and money related books, this one was not something that I would say, oh my god, it changed my life, I have to give it 5 stars. No, but for some people it could be, and it's a good book, so read it if you have time. The last book that I want to talk about is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. This book is not anything related to the books that I talked about previously. It's more a kind of psychological and emotional and self-reflection book. And I liked it, basically. I think you need to listen to this kind of books here and there. It's basically about the experience of the author in a camp, one of those Hitler camps in Germany. And this is one of those books that make you think about life in a different way, because we always nag about things that they're not important, they're not as important, but we make a huge deal out of them, and we think about them, and they overcome us. But this book is about like how to find happiness and how to be at peace after experiencing a traumatic event. Basically, if you have that kind of experience, I highly recommend reading this book. Or even if you don't, I think it's good for all of us to listen and read the books that they're talking about, the experiences that other people had and they overcame them, and they changed them in a better way. Sometimes the things that scar us in life, sometimes the bad experiences that we have change us for better. And the author is for sure one of those people that turns something dark and something bad into being a better person, and to understand other people and feel their pain and help them. So yeah, I also listened to this book, but for some reason I ordered the copy. I'm not gonna read it again. If I want to read the book, I'm gonna listen to it again, because I think it was one of the books that was free on Audible, which is a plus. Let me see, I need to make sure.
3 hours later.
Yeah, I think it was free on Audible, so you don't need to pay any credit for it. If you don't have credit, you can listen to it. I think my battery is dying. Anyway, you can listen to it for free, which is a plus, or you can order it, to have a hard copy. Oh, it's even less than 200 pages, so it's 165. And I think everybody can relate to it, even the people who don't have a traumatic experience in their life. I think we all know life is not, always good. Bad things happen all the time. Anyway, these were the 4 books that I really enjoyed. As I mentioned, not all of them are 5-star books to me, but they're all worth the time that you take to read or listen to them. I highly recommend all of them to you. And I hope if you read or listen them, you enjoy them as I did. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna talk about books more often in this channel because it's one of the things that I'm passionate about. Currently, I'm reading a very interesting book and that I think I'm gonna make a video just about that book by itself. Anyway, have a good day. Thank you. Bye.